welcome to the Fertility Conversations podcast. The goal of this podcast is to create more awareness about infertility and to provide support to people trying to conceive. Thank you for listening today, and we hope you will be encouraged. And now, here is your host, Ola.
Welcome to episode 29. So, hello everyone. Happy New Year. It's 2021. Yay. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been so busy with the holidays and family gatherings. I'm just busy eating. I actually missed out on a couple of episodes, so sorry about that. But I had a lovely Christmas and New Year period, and I hope you did too. I attended a few family gatherings and events, and of course, I ran into some people that made ignorant comments, many of which I just ignored and went on my way. I didn't really have the energy to waste on silly conversations. I already had my responses planned and prepared to, of course, the common pregnancy questions. And I even had my exit plan when things seemed to be getting out of hand. So yes, that's how I got through the holidays, and it seemed to work out perfectly. And now we've ushered in a new year, with of course many people having New Year resolutions, plans to start a new cycle, plans to continue with TTC. A few days ago, the UK started another set of lockdowns, which in my case actually impacts my plans towards TTC. I found this to be quite frustrating, and it seems like we're back in 2020. I thought 2021 was an end to all lockdowns and COVID-19 related delays, but it just seems to have carried on to 2021. So what now? What do I do? I've gotten over my initial frustrations. Of course, I'm still upset and confused, but now I want to tailor my energy towards what I can control. I want to restart my supplements. Yes, my supplements. Those ones that I hid somewhere. I want to start taking them again. I want to return to eating healthy after being so bad during the Christmas period. I mean, I ate everything and anything in sight. So I got to do better now. I also want to educate myself, which brings me to today's topic, really. I've decided to spend more time reading books that have to do with fertility and infertility and trying to conceive. So let me share with you the list of books that I have now in my possession and which I'll be reading for the next few weeks. Firstly, it starts with an egg. I read this one before. It details on how to improve egg quality, but I'm going to read it again and see what changes I can make. There's also The Trying Game. This one dives into the emotional and practical process of trying to get pregnant. So I think this is a good book to read as well. There is another one, Not Pregnant. This, they say, is a great companion through the emotional journey of infertility. So I'm looking forward to reading this. IVF WTF. This is a coloring book. I do love coloring books. I'm not sure if anyone out there also loves it like myself, but I find it to be helpful. There is another one, Is Your Body Baby Friendly? This book, I initially wasn't impressed with the title. I just thought, why would anyone say anyone's body is not baby friendly? I took it as an insult. But really, when I started reading it, I realized it's actually a great book. There are many things that, especially if you've experienced pregnancy losses, are things that you might want to explore and investigate to see if it applies to you or not. So I haven't finished this book yet, but I will be finishing it. There's also Get a Life, which is the His and Hers Survival Guide to IVF. This is a great book. I read it before and I'll be reading it again. pretty much reviews the IVF process from a woman and man's perspective. There's the art of waiting. And I think this is so relevant for the current delays and waiting involved in when you're trying to conceive. There's the supernatural childbirth and prayers and confessions. This I've read a couple of times before. I've been reading it again and making confessions and praying and believing that all will be well. There's the God's waiting room. This book includes many testimonies, actually, from other couples who've also experienced infertility. So I find that testimonies from others always inspires and encourages. So this is a great book to also pick up. Well, actually 4 books of 4 volumes. So do pick it up if you can. There's I Still Want to Be a Mom, that I also want to read. It's a book by another IVF warrior who shared her experience. So I think this is a great one to read for sure. There is In Due Time, which is pretty much hope and encouragement in the waiting that we need so much of, because many times when you're just confused, not sure how to proceed, not sure what the next steps are, it's always good to read books that encourage and renews your hope. And then there's Infertility and PTSD. This book I really love because it just feels like when I read through it, it feels like the writer really understands what I'm feeling. It gives you practical suggestions on how to maintain balance during infertility struggles. And you just realize that your thoughts, your struggles, that other people feel the same way. That's not just you. And I think that's very important to realize that you're not alone. And lastly, I have Infertility Stinks. This is the 31-day infertility devotional. I've also found this to be very helpful, and I'll be reading it again. I believe reading a book about infertility can help you to acknowledge the disappointment and pain that you're experiencing, and also help you to realize like you're not alone, like I said earlier. It's always great when you see that there are other people like yourself out there, and that your feelings and disappointment are not unique to you. So if you're also having to wait, or you just need some books to occupy your mind and time, I suggest that you pick one of the books I've just highlighted and read them. I'll be doing the same every day for the next few weeks. You might be at the beginning of your journey, or you might feel like you're highly experienced and could maybe even teach a class about infertility, or even write a book at this point. Either way, you can never know too much about infertility. And you might even learn something new when you read a book or two. So join me and let's get reading. I'm sending you all lots of love and good wishes in this new year. May 2021 be good to us all.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Fertility Conversations podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Fertility Conversations. If there are any topics you would like to have discussed, please send an email to fertilityconversations@gmail.com. Be sure to tune in next week for our next episode. Thank you again for listening. Take care of yourself and do stay hopeful.